So today we have some rulers here, and I need to make a few comments. The task was not to touch or to alter the surface. Of course, that's impossible when you run on a cross belt machine to deburr. These here have a shiny surface on the burr side, and they have a prepped surface already, which by the way is slightly scratched from the transport, I guess. That's not us. On the non-burr side, this is actually good. So I'm going to take these and only run them from the shiny side. The shiny side is then going to be looking more like this side, because what I will do is I will run them parallel to the belt so that you have this grain. Here, exactly the same thing. And here I may actually run both sides so that you can see how we may be able to take some of these scratches out. Okay, then here we have a little bit thicker, pre-grained on both sides. Obviously, we need to, as we remove the burr, we are going to have to run to one of that pre-grain. Same thing here, right? So we need to run parallel to the belt. We need a machine that is at least as wide as these things are wide. I actually may take one of these, this one, and give you a crosshatch on the burr side. This is not the burr side here, this is the burr side. So you will see a perpendicular crosshatch. This is the aluminum, and I will always also run that lengthwise. So we will start right here. And like I said, we'll put that through, and you need to see that it holds on the belt. Obviously, for this application, you probably need a very, very, very make the transition underneath the cross belt. There we go. It shifted it sideways. That's okay. And here you see what that surface looks like. Right? And it did not, at this point, it didn't deburr these ends here. It did a very good job on the sides and on the end, but here we had a little bit too much dross. And that, again, this is an edge rounding machine, it's not a deburring machine in that sense. You would have to run that through a white belt sander first to remove that. And we can do that for you later on this machine over there. So I'll try the same thing. We have the same thing here. And you see that we have a lot of dross here. So in this case, full disclosure, what I will do is to remove that dross that really, I'm going to use a file. We can, like I say, we can do that also with a white belt sander. But then you make, of course, you make a lot more surface. Alright. There you go. And I'm not proposing this for your everyday manufacturing process, but it also seems to be a problem how you dial in your laser, because you don't have it on any of the other surfaces. So you only have it on this side. So again, I'm going to give that a little bit of a bow down, so that's going to work better. And at the same time, I'm going to give it a little bit more pressure. Right. We are running at about 3 feet a minute, so if you run those one after the other, we can run probably 300-400 an hour of that length through the machine. Here we go. The other one got held up a little bit, and it was because it was bowed up. So here you see those results. That is the end that I filed, okay, where I removed the dross. And you see how smooth that is now and how smooth the other end is out. And you may like that surface. We're going to have to protect that really well. And on this one, I said that I also wanted to rerun this surface so that you can see that. see, it refines a little bit the finish that you give it. It can't take out the deeper scratches that we had from transportation. So when we ship those back, we will wrap them really careful in shrink wrap. So this was just one side, this was both sides. Now we go to the slightly thicker material. Again, we have the same thing with the burr here on this side. Because this is thicker, I'm going to dry this. I'm just going to lay that on, but I'm going to slow down my conveyor to the lowest speed. And since we have that, almost the same thickness, I'm going to run the aluminum right away. The aluminum can have a little bit of dross. That wouldn't be a problem. That will always, aluminum is soft. That will always come off, that dross. It not be a problem. And then we said we will take this one, and I will give you a cross hatch on one side, and I will give you a length hatch on this side. So we'll start. You see that I don't really have to change the settings of the machine because it's more or less, even though it is slightly different thickness, it's more or less all the same thickness. So here's that, and even with that, like I say, it makes that dross round, but it doesn't make it go away. And it makes a slightly polished surface, right? And I'll also run this side. This is what the aluminum looks like when it comes out. That has a little bit of a stripe to it. That happens in aluminum. Aluminum can discolor, but it has a very, very, very good edge. So if you anodize that, then it'll actually be homogeneous again. And then we have this part here, which is a little bit thicker, and that actually totally removed the burr without us doing anything. All right? So, on this aluminum, I will run this also in this direction, so you can see that. But the aluminum is probably going to lose the pressure with this because it doesn't need to be hit so hard. And then we have this part that we haven't run yet. No, this side that we haven't run yet. That is the non-burr side. Again, we have, because it's thin, we have a little bit of burr left here. I'll mark that for you with a pen. So, when they lay flat, they will go through just fine. And this was this one, where we removed all the burr, and that I will also run for you perpendicular. There's some grooves in the conveyor belt, so it's very easy to find out what perpendicular. Coming out with the aluminum, and we ran a little bit lighter, and then you see in that you have a very slight surface serration, but you don't have that deep scrub that you have in here. Then it's much more homogeneous, and probably if you anodize it, it will be just fine, and it still gives you a very good edge round. So aluminum a little bit lighter. And here is this, run in parallel. That is your pre-grain surface that we just ran again, right? Maybe brushed out a little bit for you. As long as you don't have any scratches in it, it's really, the machine will enhance your finish. And then here we have the cross hatch number. That was it, that was it. Here you have that very same part with the cross hatch. Maybe you like that. I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. It's up to you. You see the underlying grain that you gave it, and then basically on top of that, the superposed cross hatch from the cross hatch machine. Thank you very much.